It's a cold morning on the battlefield in Ukraine. A drone hovers high above a Russian position. Its targets sit below, unaware they're being watched. Then the screen jolts. Impact. This isn't a random hit. It's a coordinated strike captured from above. And videos of death and destruction like this one are being uploaded online for millions to see. For some units, these deadly drone strikes are logged, verified, and rewarded, earning them points to spend on more military equipment on what's been described as the Amazon of war. It's just one of the ways this conflict is rewriting the traditional rules of engagement. Alongside tanks and planes, social media is being weaponized to shift the public mood and recruit sympathizers behind enemy lines.
Warfare that was, designed for a previous era is just not going to be sufficient in the wars that we might expect to see or should want to prepare for in the future.
We've entered an era where the front line is live streamed 24/7 and where killing becomes like a game that wins you points on a national leaderboard. So as the conflict enters its fourth year, this is how the war in Ukraine changed the battlefield forever. Here's what you need to know. So to really understand just how much warfare has changed with this conflict, we need to start with air power, specifically drones. Drones have been used for decades, particularly by the United States, but in the past they were expensive and tricky to build.
The war in Ukraine has really shown how drones have taken quite literally a frontline role in warfare. If you look at how drones were used prior to Russia's offensive invasion of Ukraine, then you can see how it was medium altitude, long endurance systems, ones that we might know as predators and reapers, that defined our understandings of how this remote control technology was being used in war.
Now they are cheap to produce, and this war has transformed what was once a high-tech investment into an ever-present threat. Sites thousands of miles away from the battlefield can be hit with little warning. We've seen Russian air bases, warships, and oil refineries all fall prey to drone attacks. Russia has also used its own fleet of drones to attack civilian targets in Ukraine's cities and towns, resulting in numerous deaths and injuries.
How constantly are Russia sending the drones?
Наскільки постійно зараз москалі?
Кожного дня починає.
Every day, Sergei tells me.
For troops on the ground, taking cover in trenches or bombed out buildings no longer provides the protection it once did. Small drones are capable of hovering overhead, scouting out positions and tracking movement in real time. Their constant threat means if a soldier is aware of being stalked from above, there's often little they can do. According to the Latvian intelligence service, drones are responsible for between 70 and 80% of injuries or deaths on both sides of this war. And drones reportedly account for about 60% of Ukraine's firepower on the front line. One key advancement has been the use of fiber optic cables attached to drones, allowing operators to penetrate deeper into enemy territory without being seen.
Because it doesn't have that radio control connectivity, it means you can't jam it, you can't block it. There's a physical attachment, a wire through which the information is transmitted. And so this makes these drones particularly deadly and incredibly difficult to counter. Thousands and thousands of these drones have been deployed, carpeting the entire regions with what almost looks like spider silk, just all over fields, forests. And it's even got to the point now that it's got harder to actually procure those fiber optic cables.
The lessons from Ukraine are also influencing how militaries further afield are using drones to their advantage.
I think one of the things that worries me most as we reflect on this anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine is just what's going to happen next in the evolution of drone technology. And what will that mean for conflicts that are happening right now in Africa or across Asia? We've already seen these drone systems and lessons from the war in Ukraine being learned and rolled out in Sudan or in Myanmar. And so that's one of the things that deeply worries me.
And drones haven't just given soldiers a new way of fighting, but in some cases a new incentive too. Battlefield kills can be traded for combat points, which can be spent in an online marketplace for military equipment. This is Brave One, a site that allows Ukrainian soldiers to purchase drones, weapons, and other military hardware, and also offers manufacturers the chance to test their technology in real-world combat. It has been vital in providing equipment and resources to Ukrainian soldiers on the front line, allowing them to continue their fight against Russia.
Critically, you can engage in the battlefield. So these technologies can be sent to the front. They can be wartime tested to see just how actually realistic they are for use and how effective they are. And if they are, then their rollout can be sped up incredibly quickly.
New and improved weapons can be purchased by soldiers if they're able to prove their effectiveness on the battlefield.
Throughout history, there's always been a tally kept of strikes conducted, of kills obtained. It's not purely about killing for the sake of killing. It's trying to monitor just how effective certain weapon systems are. And look, it is a morbid practice, but this is a difficult and incredibly perilous situation that Ukraine is in.
Capturing deadly encounters on the battlefield is not a trend specific to the Ukraine conflict, but sites like Brave One do incentivize soldiers to record video proof of their kills. In fact, uploading videos of combat kills is often required to receive your points. This footage is carefully analysed before tokens that can be spent online are awarded. But for the general online audience, the proliferation of these videos has given them a new window into the reality of this war. Add in some rock music and combat videos like these can quickly go viral online, morbidly sharing the final moments of soldiers' lives before they are destroyed, obliterated, or eliminated. Behind the images we see online, the conflict is also being fought on much less visible platforms.
In the broader history of Russia-Ukraine competition is the emergence and expansion of hybrid warfare more generally.
Hybrid warfare can be cyber warfare, disinformation campaigns, or other destabilization techniques, any method to weaken your enemy.
It's the case that we've seen this kind of antagonistic cyber warfare between states even prior to the Russo-Ukrainian war, but there seems to be an increase in frequency and an interesting sort of testing of the water that I think Russia is doing with NATO allies. They are trying to see, how much can they convince these governments and populations that continuing to support Ukraine is very costly, and how much can they push the boundaries of the conflict before they start to get real consequences for that.
Russia was accused of hacking satellite systems to bring down Ukraine's internet services and deploying disabling malware on government websites, while repeat attacks on energy infrastructure have stripped Ukrainians of heat and power during the coldest months of the year. But it's not just about targeting Ukraine itself, it's also about attempting to dry up international support.
It is a coherent and escalating campaign to unsettle our citizens, test our resolve, divide our union, and weaken our support for Ukraine. And it is time to call it by its name. This is hybrid warfare.
In the UK, we've seen Russian-ordered arson attacks on aid warehouses. In Germany, police made arrests over a parcel bomb plot also linked to the Russian state, whilst Poland claimed Russia was behind a railway explosion last year. In fact, according to the Centre for Strategic and International Studies, in 2024 there were 34 incidents of arson or serious sabotage attributed to Russian military intelligence. Experts believe these types of incidents are part of a campaign to weaken NATO and ultimately undermine support for Ukraine. The Ukraine conflict has moved beyond the traditional confines of war. Drones now control the skies, kills are tracked and traded, and fighting stretches across servers and satellites. As it all unfolds for us through our feeds and algorithms, this conflict is a grim warning of how future wars might unfold.